All right, guys, sorry we had a quick interruption. We're going to head back to our conversation. Okay, so be sincere, be honest, be caring. I like to pretend that each one of my patients is my family member because ultimately, no matter who you're caring for, there's someone's child, there's someone's daughter, there's someone's best friend. Okay, so make sure you care for them like such. All right, ethical dilemmas. We're going to go through these and I'm going to explain what the words mean, but I'm going to hold the discussion and what you guys' opinions of these are until the end because I don't want to record it just because I want you to be open and honest with your opinions and I want to be able to have a conversation with you about it. And I'd like to respect your privacy in talking about it. So, is euthanasia justified? Does anybody know what euthanasia means? Have you ever heard of someone putting their dog to sleep? Okay, that's what euthanasia is. Euthanasia is the humane ending of life, so that you're given medication to end your life. There are instances where people choose euthanasia because the patient is either suffering, the patient is tired of treatment, or the patient is ready to transition to death. So this ethical dilemma is asking, do you believe it's justified? Again, we're going to hold our comments till the end. Okay, should the patients be told that their healthcare provider has AIDS? So if I'm a healthcare provider and I'm AIDS positive, okay, which means I potentially could have a needle stick or an accident that could expose my patient to the AIDS virus, should my patient be made aware that I have AIDS? Okay, as a healthcare provider, you are made aware that your patient has AIDS, okay, because I need to know if I'm going to give an IV to a patient who has HIV or AIDS that there's a potential there for cross-contamination. You can always accidentally stick yourself. Doing wound care, I accidentally stuck myself in the palm because the needle went through the cap. Luckily, I had not worked with the patient yet, so it was a clean needle. But if it wasn't, whatever's going on in your patient, you've now exposed yourself to. So what this question is asking is if healthcare providers know that their patient has AIDS, should a patient be told that the caregiver has AIDS? Okay. Should aborted fetuses be used for research? Okay, are we all aware of what abortion is? Abortion is the ending of a pregnancy, okay, the terminating of a pregnancy. And depending on what country you live in and depending on where you live determines what age you can abort a fetus or how many weeks along. So what this is asking is if we've aborted the pregnancy, which means the child is no longer in the mother's womb, the fetus is dead, okay, can we use them for research? Okay, that's what it's asking. And then when should life support be discontinued? Have you all heard, oh, this person's going to be on life support for the rest of their life? That means typically the person can't breathe on their own, they're not moving on their own, they're on a ventilator, and that's what's keeping them alive. They're not aware of what's going on, there's no brain activity. At what point do we say it's time to cut off this machines that are keeping this person alive? Okay, that's what it means, discontinued. So moving to this, principles of right or wrong. Again, should parents be able to refuse a life-saving blood transfusion for their child due to religious beliefs? So a scenario here would be you have a mom and a dad of an 8-year-old girl who was hit by a car. Okay, mom and dad, because of their religious beliefs, do not believe in blood transfusions. Okay, they do not believe in blood transfusions. They are completely against it. This child could be saved by a blood transfusion. They know the only thing that's wrong with her is internal bleeding. If we give her a blood transfusion, we do a surgery, she'll be fine. Okay, mom and dad are refusing the blood transfusion. This is an ethical dilemma. Can anybody tell me why? Because she's underage, okay, she is influenced by her parents' religious belief. Is it fair that the parents get to basically say, we don't want this life-saving treatment for our daughter because of what we believe in? If the child was 18 and she said, I want it because I don't believe the way you believe, it wouldn't be a dilemma. But because the child is underage and the parents are refusing it, it is considered an ethical dilemma, okay? Can a healthcare facility refuse expensive treatment if a patient cannot afford it? Okay, it is incredibly expensive to have good healthcare here in the United States. Okay, we do not have free healthcare. You have to pay for everything you get. Okay, and is it fair for me to say I have a $25,000 treatment that can basically save your life? Okay, but if you can't pay for it, you can't have it. Okay, is that fair? Who should decide if a 75-year-old or a 56-year-old gets a kidney transplant? Okay, so talking about organ donation, there are hundreds of thousands of people who need organ donations in the United States, okay? They put them on a list and they prioritize them, okay? Who decides if a 75-year-old gets it or a 56-year-old gets it? Can anybody see why there would be a dilemma here? Who's going to live longer? The 56-year-old. What if the 75-year-old is healthier? Okay. What if we have a lung transplant that needs to happen and we have a 27-year-old smoker, okay, and an 80-year-old man? Who's going to live longer? Probably the 27-year-old, but they did it to themselves, didn't they? They smoked themselves into needing a lung transplant. Well, does that make a difference? It's an 80-year-old man. How do you decide? Okay, that's why this is considered an ethical dilemma. Moving forward, should organs be sold for transplant? Why can't I sell my kidney for 20 grand? I need the money. I don't need both kidneys. Can I just sell it? Can we make money off of this? Okay, you know that the black market sells organs all the time. Organs are incredibly hard to come by because you have to be a perfect match. And there are more people dying from needing organs than there are people dying that can give organs, okay? You have to decide if you want to give your organs when you die, okay? So can we just sell them? Should marijuana be used as prescription medication? If we know that marijuana can assist in seizure control, it can assist in pain control, it can assist in anxiety, depression, eating disorders, and all of those things. Why can we not sell it as a prescription? Some states do. Some states sell it just because you want to have fun and get high, okay? So why can't we use it as a medical relief? Should animals be, sorry guys, should animals be used in research even if it results in the death of an animal? I teach an entire course on this in biomedical technology. It is an awesome class. Take it next. Okay. Should we use animals even if they die at the end? Who agrees? Who disagrees? Could I go get your cat from your house and use your cat? Could I get your dog? Well, what makes your cat or dog any better than the mice that we kill on an average? Okay, 97% of all animals tested are mice. Are they any different than we are? Do they feel pain? Can we research? Can we test on them? Can we put them through pain to help us? Should genes be transplanted to create the perfect human? I also teach a class on this. Why is this scary? If we could create the perfect human that has no acne and straight white teeth and is never going to be overweight and is athletic and has no issues and will have blue eyes and tan skin and no risk of cancer and all of those things. If we could create, what is the perfect human? Is your idea of a perfect human the same as mine? No. Okay, are we messing with nature here? I don't know. Should cloning be allowed? Should I be able to clone myself if I want to? What's the risk in that? Are we playing God if we work on cloning? If we start cloning people, can I clone myself and just live forever and just keep cloning my own self? Does my personality go into that clone? That's an ethical dilemma. Should aborted fetuses be used for stem cell research? Okay, this is kind of the same thing here. You can gain knowledge about Parkinson's, osteoporosis, diabetes. You could potentially, guys, we could potentially cure all of these diseases or at least provide like life-changing treatment for all of these diseases for people if we could test the stem cells of aborted fetuses. But would that encourage abortion? Do you agree with abortion? Do you disagree? All right, so patients' rights. Okay, we've talked about a lot of dilemmas. We're going to go back there and talk about those as a class. Federal and state regulations require that healthcare facilities have to have written rights and policies for their patients. They have to be posted in the facility at Vidant. They're posted in the hallways. They're posted on each unit, okay? Patients have the right to considerate and respectful care, okay? You cannot walk into your patient's room and call them names and cuss them out because they requested a new nurse, okay? They have the right to do that. They have the right to have considerate and respectful care. If you talk about them with the door open and they hear you, they have the right to report that you were not providing respectful care. The right to obtain information about their condition, diagnosis, and treatment. They have the right to know what you're diagnosing them with. For example, I was diagnosed with a disorder during pregnancy and I disagreed. And I requested my information because I didn't want it in my chart that I had this disorder when I disagreed with the way it was being coded. Okay. You have the right to do that. You have the right to be an active participant in your healthcare. And you guys as healthcare providers have to tell your patients to advocate for themselves. I don't know why. I think it's the right to receive information about your care in a timely manner, right to refuse advance directives or refuse care. I have the right to say I don't want to be on a ventilator. I have the right to say I do not want any more IVs. I have the right to say I'm ready to go home. You have the right to leave, okay? Right to privacy, right to confidentiality. You have the right to a reasonable response for a request for service. So this is if I ask for pain medicine, it's time for me to have pain medicine. A nurse cannot make you wait 6 hours for pain medicine. They have a right to get it within a reasonable time. Right to refuse to participate in research. That comes up a lot if you have like certain procedures done and things like that. They'll ask you like, can we use your information for research? And you can say no. Right to continuity of care, which basically just means the service you're provided. Continuity is being made aware of your care, basically provided good service. Right to review medical records and bills. Again, you can look at your medical records anytime and you can request a bill at any time. Guys, check your bills because sometimes people make mistakes. Check your bills, okay? And you have the right to be informed of all hospital rules and policies. Advanced directives. I know this is kind of a long one today, guys. Bear with me. Advanced directives are basically legal documents that you have that state what medical treatment you want, okay? I do not have an advanced directive. My sister-in-law got one before she had her child. In the event something went wrong, she had it listed. Who would make her decisions, what she wanted done. Did she want to go on a ventilator? Did she want CPR? All of those things. You have the right to decide whatever you want, or you have the right to put someone in charge. If you don't put someone in charge, who is your person right now? Your parents, okay? Who's mine? My husband. What if my husband's not there? My parent, okay? A living will is a document, again, that reiterates what measures that you would like taken. It's a DNR. This is where you will put that do not resuscitate order. What is resuscitate? To bring you what? To bring you back, CPR, medications, and things like that. Or if you'd like to die with peace and dignity. DNR means do not resuscitate, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want medication. Some people are okay with medication. In my experience, a lot of older patients didn't want CPR because of the risk of breaking ribs, puncturing lungs, things like that. Because as you age, your bones are more brittle, and it's very common to break ribs during CPR, which can be incredibly painful, especially for someone who's older, okay? But they want medication, so they want epinephrine to try to help their heartbeat, okay? They're okay with being shocked, but they don't want the actual physical resuscitation. Durable power of attorney is the person who you want to make your decision. So I'm my parents' durable power of attorney because I have medical experience, but my sister and I will make the decisions together. And again, we've already kind of talked about that. Patient Self-Determination Act of 1990, okay? Basically, this is rights that you have, okay? So you have the right to die if you want to. You have the right to, every hospital facility has to offer you the ability to create an advance directive. A lot of people don't have one, but it's nice to have one, but the hospital has to offer you the chance to help you. Your advance directive has to be kept within your medical record, because if you were to go into cardiac arrest in the bathroom, what in the heck are we going to do with you? You have the right to write your statements and implement your rights. You have the right to make sure there's been no discrimination with your advance directives. You have to be trained, and that is all. Okay, so if you're watching this Zoom at home, you have until tomorrow to complete those notes. A lot of it is just more fill in the blank. What we're going to do now in class is have the conversation on ethical dilemmas. If you guys have questions at home, please follow up with me, and I will be happy to assist you.